Hey everyone, Robisnow back again with another Liftoff track review. This time it's one by Begin, Metal Fortress version 2. You can find it on the Steam Workshop. It does say Metal Swirl version 1 3 laps there, but if you're looking for it on the Workshop, it's called Metal Fortress V2 with Begin in the square brackets there as well at the start. I'll give you a link in the description. I have had trouble with this one completing it with the going fast and with the battery simulation on. So I mean, we'll see how we get on. I quite like this one in that it's massive. There's loads of creativity in here. Like, I'm loving these sort of barriers that you've got to go through. It kind of reminds me of the sort of tube system in, I think it was France, the metro, I think they call it over there, and it had those weird barriers that you had to like sort of wait to push yourself through. But yeah, it's a really fun map. It's massive, it's huge, hence why it's in the drawing board as well, because you can't really get this creative in the other maps. And I like that it's got this choice, like, so if you want to go through this tiny gap, you can. If you don't want to, you can go around. But it's very like simple, really. Like, there are no really tricky maneuvers you'll see until we get a bit further in. Like, everything you got the option to be a bit flamboyant and do your crazy maneuvers, or you can just fly it safe and sensibly. This bit again, you've got a couple of choices of where you want to go around those. Essentially the route is the same, there's no real difference. It's just if you can get it all central, you'll be a bit quicker. This bit I quite like because it sort of forces you to go back around on yourself. You see, it doesn't matter which way you go through that, you have to go through both. I do like this whole sort of circular thing going on here, it's really cool. This is the other bit I really like, this sort of over the top bar roll. When I did it the first time, I found that really straightforward and simple, and it looked amazing, and every time I've tried to do it since, it doesn't quite come off. I don't know if you're supposed to go under that 10, but I don't have to, so I'm not going to. So that's lap 1, you can see. I'm purposely not going too fast, one, because I want to, you know, survive. There we go, we're going to go through these a different direction now, because normally I go through them the other way, I think. Maybe not, I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. But yeah, I like it because it does sort of make you think about your gaps that you've got to go through. There's enough variety in the map to keep you interested. The only bits that are a bit dull are those long sort of turns that you have to do. You can see I had to concentrate there to get through that tiny gap. I like that about this. Like, if you don't want to do the tiny gap, you do not have to. There are turns to the left and right, or maybe I'll show you that on the final lap. Also, this one you can go left or right around. So there is always these sort of choices that you can make. None of them really sort of slow you down or speed you up. The only one I would say that really makes a difference is that tiny gap one. You'll see on the final lap when I go round the other way, it's slightly less direct, so if you're trying to do this as a race and get the best time, you'll want to go through the tiny gap, like high risk, high reward, as it were. But yeah, it's not terribly challenging if you take your time. The minute you try and bring the speed up, it does get difficult. Also, what I found is when I bring the speed up, I can't finish 3 laps of this. Like, I get pretty close to the end, but the final sort of height difference that I need to make, I just can't do. Oh, and I've sort of forgotten what way I'm going there. But yeah, it's a good map. I like it. It's because it forces you to think about your speed for those tiny gaps. Then you've got a nice bit of big, fast turns that you can do. You've got these sort of sweeping up and down, like the height changes. I like that. I don't like a flat map. A flat map gets really boring really quickly. So I do like the whole variety in height that we've got here. So for example here, I don't want to go through that gap. I can go around, but it does mean you've got to recover a bit more to make that turn. It's not a straightforward flying. So here we go. We're making, this is the final sort of rise, and I think I'm going to do it. Maybe it was the drone setup I had before, because oh gosh. And that's what happens when I get a bit too cocky with the speed. Because I was getting to around here and I was really running out of battery. I don't know if it was because I was trying to go faster, because you can see I'm not really punching the throttle too much, unless the battery stuff's been changed, I don't know, or I've changed the battery because of the drone I'm using. Because as I've said in previous videos, I have adjusted my drone to feel more like the one I use in real life, so that could be the difference too. But you can see here I'm at 13 volts, and I think I've made it, so we're good. Yeah, happy days. But that is a long one to do, 5 minutes flight time for me, and I have done it once before on 454. I'm pretty sure the first time I tried to do it I was just gunning it too much, and therefore the battery had died before that final checkpoint. I got pretty close, it was like 2/3 of the way through the final lap, but yeah, so providing you're taking it easy, you'll finish that. If you've got an aggressive one that's sapping battery quickly and you're trying to gun it, I don't think you'll finish that. But yeah, it's a good one to do, it's got variety. It's not cramped and it's not intense in that you're focusing the whole way through, apart from the occasional point where I veer off to the wrong direction because the map goes over itself a few times. I think it's a good clear map, and it's good fun to try and do. So yeah, if you like that one, go to Metal Fortress version 2 on the Steam Workshop, there's a link below. Thanks to pojnts for that map, and I hope you don't mind the review. Take care guys.